Let's welcome Paula Walter with Culinary Provisions, Inc. to the stage. We're grateful to have her here and have all of your goodies here today. Can't wait to hear more about them. Please join me in welcoming Paula to the stage, folks.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here to make this presentation. Just kind of a brief background. I grew up in a family-owned restaurant, Pacific Cafe. I don't know if any of you, this audience doesn't look like they're old enough to remember this. It was at the southeast corner of Main and Osage. The building has now imploded. It's now in a parking lot. But I have 4 younger brothers. We all grew up in that restaurant. We all had to man some kind of position within that restaurant. And at the time when I graduated from high school, it was beat into us that we do not want you to go into food service because there's nothing more labor intensive, and it's an awful life, blah 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 blah. Even though how successful they were, so at the time I went to college, when female going to college in the '60s, there were 2 things that you did: you either became a teacher or you became a nurse. Okay, so I became a high school teacher in Warsaw, Missouri. I had it made, and I can't believe even to this day that I walked away from that opportunity, but I did. Went to graduate school, then from graduate school at K-State, I went to Mississippi State, then to North Carolina. And when I walked away from higher education, then I moved to Dallas, Texas to work as an operations manager of a gourmet food takeout shop. That was when the major first detour in my life occurred. And that's when I kind of make full circle to food service. And so I'm in Dallas, Texas. 1980, something happens, and for you people who are really into football, what happened that year? First and only strike. And I'm under contract on a commercial kitchen. I become approved caterer for Texas Stadium. And within 24 hours, I have no business. Okay, so I morph out of that, and then I'm still in Texas. Then I moved back here in 1984. Been gone from here for about 10 years, having lived in the mid-deep South, which was another cultural experience in and of itself. So I moved back here in 1984, and for about another off-ramp, exit ramp into the whole area of financial services for about 21 years. At one time, I had every insurance license known to man. I was Series 6 and 63 qualified. Then I became a realtor. Was a realtor for 19 years. And then in 2000, and I'm still licensed as a realtor in Kansas and Missouri, but in 2005, I made a cracker. And that's what's behind this banner over here, and that's what's behind this banner up here. And it was a mustard Gruyere cracker, and whoever I was serving it to, that they said at the time, well, you should sell these. So 12 years later, I did. So last year, within the space of, I've been screwing around since 2005, playing with these crackers. So in 2016, I go to the incubator kitchen on the Olathe campus of K-State, and within 4 months, we finessed these recipes for a line of 5 savory crackers. And what's magic, or what's behind these crackers, is the fact that you've got the 5 major groupings of cheeses that correspond with or pair with the 5 major groupings of wine. And then you take that one step further, and then you pair those crackers with the complementary, what I call spreadables, different preserves, different jams, different fruit butters. And so that ubiquitous fruit and cheese tray that you see everywhere that people maul over and it becomes a mess on a table. Well, so you've got the cheeses and the crackers, and then the fruit that's been messed over is in the spreadable that you put on the cracker. Okay, so that's kind of what's behind. That was the intent behind those crackers. I don't know how many of you frequent the Today Area Farmers Market. I was out there from August through October, and that's where if people are really want to put their money into where they claim that they want a quality product and they want to support local businesses and they want to support Missouri-grown products, that's where you go. Okay, So, but what I'm really about, because I want to make this, the savory cracker thing, kind of a division within a company. And what I'm really about is wanting to combine the concept of what's called now fast fine dining. And it's just something it's popping up in San Francisco and New York, but where you combine the concept of the aspects of fast food that people like with like basically a subscription food service, where everything is pre-ordered, it's prepaid, it's all done fresh to order. And what's attractive about this is that with the exception of maybe 2 runners and a busser, you've eliminated the major upfront expense of a brick and mortar restaurant. And because the last thing I want is employees, but I'm going to have employees, but they're going to be minimal. And so that's kind of what is behind what I'm about, and what I'm after, and we're on the trail of, is to find a commercial kitchen. And there are 2 huge prospects here in Sedalia, existing prospects that are not being used, that could support an incubator kitchen that would not only support me, but would support other people that are looking for a commercial kitchen to work out of. And there's one facility in particular could operate 24 hours a day if they could just get their act together. But that's what I'm about in terms of a commercial kitchen. And you're wondering, and somebody asked me, who asked me? Oh, you did. Carla asked me. What commercial kitchen was I using now? Were you the one who asked me that? Somebody did. And I said, well, I'm not. And so then how do I do what I do? And I operate under those really funky, if you know what are referred to as cottage laws that govern farmers markets, which says that whatever is produced at a farmer's market can be produced in a home kitchen. And so so you walk this really gray line, because the line I'm walking right now and what I want to do, I cannot do. I mean, I could, but the neighbors would be calling, wanting to know, why are all these people in your driveway picking up food? Because the first call is going to be made to Kirk down at the health department, going, what's going on here? So what I want to do, I cannot do in a home kitchen, even though I can, but I can't legally. And because behind the booth at the farmer's market, that was to develop a clientele for a subscription food service. So that's what I'm about. And I'm wanting somebody to ask me, why did you put those chocolate-covered cherries on in front of me? And you can't answer. Today is National Chocolate-Covered Cherry Day. Okay? So anyway, but really what I'm after a commercial kitchen first and foremost, to expand and go beyond, because I'm going to go back to next week. I actually go back to the incubator kitchen in Kansas City where I develop these crackers, because I've been involved since November the 16th in a combined water shelf life testing on these crackers to go big time, so that they're going to become vacuum sealed in a package. And I'm applying to become a vendor for a fancy food show that's going to be in May in Kansas City as well. So I'm gearing up, and there's going to be a major wine thing in April that I'm going to apply for as well. And then there's all these unbelievable wineries within 30 minutes of Sedalia. And so once I get these vacuum sealed products to go back to all these different places, because what's kind of funky to me is that there's 3 in Coal Camp of all places. And I'm not saying that to look down at Coal Camp, but just the idea that in Coal Camp, Missouri, really, that there are going to be 3 different successful wine-related businesses, 30 minutes away. Anyway, that's what I'm about.
So talk about your ingredients, how you standardize the ingredients, how you standardize. Okay, so you come up with a great product. How do you take that from making it in your kitchen to having it be a commercially available product?
Yeah.
Labeling, packaging, that entire process.
Yeah, that was the huge rub with these crackers, because they were too rich. They had too much butter, they had too much cheese in them. And so the idea was, I've got to finesse these, because nobody's going to pay me $7 for a box of crumbles. So we spent 4 months. I can't even tell you how many different times a different batch was made to vary a certain flour, to add a certain product, to withdraw a certain ingredient. the baking time, because with the exception of the cheddar cheese, and I use Hemme Brothers out of Sweet Springs, their cheddar. With the exception of the cheddar, all the other cheeses I use are imported. So that says something about the cost, the ingredient cost of these things to begin with, But because I think you've got to go to Wisconsin to find blue cheese. I think made in this country. But yeah, it was that whole process of in terms of the major ingredient in these crackers is all-purpose, unbleached, organic white flour that costs 3 times normal flour. And then when you start buying cheese that's anywhere from $5 to $11 a pound, depending upon the cracker, and then you're using butter that, I can't find any place for less than $3 a pound unless Aldi's puts it on sale for $2.29, So it's, all of that. But it was a real process. But the surprising thing was it took 4 months, and I've been screwing around with this since 2005, But once I said, okay, I'm either going to do this or not. And so that was what kind of like motivated the whole thing.
So where are your crackers made?
Right now?
Yeah.
Well, right now, starting this month, I'm going back to my commercial kitchen in Kansas City, where I develop these.
With the commercial kitchen, what's the terms with that? Is it when you use that kitchen? Is it already, is it a kitchen that's already open and other people use it, or?
Yeah, there's 2 terms to use really. It's an incubator kitchen. That's really the term, meaning it serves as an incubator for other businesses that don't have $100,000 to go equip a space, mainly for the vent work, But the incubator meaning that, because the one that I access in Olathe, it's a kitchen twice the size of this room, and there's four different kitchens within this space. There's like a regular restaurant line kitchen, then there's a catering kitchen, then there's this other kitchen, and then there's an actual video production, like if you were on Food TV Network. There's that kind of a kitchen as well. But yeah, it's an incubator kitchen where I go online, I block out a certain amount of time, they ding my credit card, whether I'm there that day or if I'm reserving it next week. They get their money right then and there. And then I show up, and I show up with everything. They provide everything except aprons, hairnets, and that's about it. And then I come in. When I go to Kansas City, I come in with all the different crackers are pre-sifted, all the dry ingredient, and then I take the cheese up there because they've got this monster RoboQ food processor that can do 10 pounds of cheese like in 2 minutes, And so I go up there with all the raw ingredients, and then I prepare it there. They've got vent work that's as long as that wall right there, covering 4 still ovens, and then on each side it's flanked with convection ovens.
So during this time, how much are you producing when you go up and do this with all the product? I mean, what's your goal? The number of
generally, by myself in a 4-hour period, I can mix up all 5. If it's pre-sifted, I can mix it all up, portion it out, and then in another 4-hour block of time, then I can actually bake off that many, because, like I said, I've got 4 ovens going at the same time, double racking each. Then I've got convection ovens on each side too. Sorry? Oh, God. That box over there, I should go get one. This is a real story here. When you're starting out, you cannot afford custom packaging. So you have to search and you search and you search and you search for a stock box.